Good morning, my name's Andy. I'm the property Web-Ber for property information here in Spain, which we give out on a daily basis. And we've got a database from 1993. Prices starting for €90 a month. A bargain. So let's get started. Today's Tuesday, 21st November 2018. 2017, sorry, thinking too much in the future. We do this in English for our American and European customers, and for people who want to sort of listen and get bored by a bit of English. Okay, let's go into the summary page for today and see what we've got. Right, a lot of supermarkets opening up. Supermarkets opening up in Malaga, in Barcelona, Tarragona, Vizcaya, Alicante again, another one in Barcelona, and another one in Canarias. Okay, interesting, because now all the banks are sort of like seem to be closing down their a lot of their sucursales. It seems that bars and restaurants have taken them over. Interesting. If you've got a couple of sucursales to be selling, going to the hotel, Sevilla. Buildings that are going to go into touristic apartments. Fondos and entering Axiari. That's interesting because there's another thing coming out with Axiari a bit later on. Developer, Ampliación de Capital, and in the opposite side, the EMA says goodbye to Barcelona. Bye, Barcelona. And Villamere is redesigning the Fifth Torre. On the residential side, residential developer has got enough cash now to be able to build in the future nearly 8,000 residential units. And thank you. And there's a new promotion of 80 viviendas in Denia. On the commercial side, not the chocolates, but the electrodomesticos people are opening up a big locale in a commercial centre in Madrid. Okay, and quite a well-known Spanish games company has gone into Honduras. And on the opposite side, the EBA going to Paris as well. Okay, on contracts coming up for termination, maybe not, in the next 6 months. Offices, we've got nearly 700 square meters in Madrid, lawyers, and a tech company, about 3,000 in Barcelona. Well, maybe they want to come to Madrid. In Valencia, 400 square meters in a locale, and 42,000 square meters of logistics. On the easy property side, remember we have the legal use of the mark for the whole of Europe of easy property. So there's a locale in Paso de Habana and offices in Venta in Castellana and up for sale in Avenida de Burgos. A bit later on we'll put the square meters there so you don't have to keep on going in and having a look. On the rumours side, interesting, because that OPA that's about to happen, probably, will, because these guys deal in prime, will be interesting to see. There'll probably be quite a lot of office buildings coming up for sale, particularly in the decentralized area. 2 lawyers, interesting because they might need more accommodation and might be leaving their own accommodation. Double deal there, maybe. And there's a residential building up for sale in Calle Gayari in Barcelona. Commercial side. A couple of days ago, we put out some stuff about this restoration company, this restaurant company, and they were having some problems with licenses in Barcelona. Well, interestingly, one of their directors bought 7 restaurants before the close of the year last year. Interesting, because she probably got a very good deal, And interestingly, maybe, because it's worth giving her a buzz to see if she wants to sell any of those restaurants, maybe on a sale and lease back, or the whole Shankaboodle, the 7, because I imagine she wants to make a profit on that. There's a new DG in a Sothemy in Madrid, and on the offices today is interesting. We've got a load of Alcobendas that have suddenly come out, so I reckon there's probably about 8 or 9,000 square meters in the last trim that's just been rented out in Alcobendas, which is, I think, interesting. It's interesting, very interesting that Alcobendas is hitting hard there. On the Barcelona side, company does property services. It's rented out nearly 4,000 in Sants, and there are 3 deals of about 2,000, 3,000, maybe about 5,000 square meters in the Zona Franca. Also very interesting as well. Okay, if we go down there, the Alcobendas deals. Now, on the investment side, these guys could be interesting. Argentinian guys come in and they've bought a ex-head office in the north of Madrid. Interestingly, because they're going to be rehabbing it, and interestingly, because it's going to be putting about 15, 20 grand, 15 or 20,000 of offices in the market in that area. Interesting area, but the other interesting thing about these guys, this is the 3rd deal they've done here, and I don't think these deals have ever come out except here. Careful not pointing. So they bought an office building that's rented out to a bank in Boadilla back in 2015, and the end of last year they also bought a building in Las Rozas, and that's an interesting deal as well because it's rented out to a tech company, and that building's changed hands quite a lot over the last 10 years. So interesting deals. But anyway, there's going to be that deal, and then 20,000 square meters of offices put in the market in that area. The highest rent achieved in the last trim in Diagonal. There you go. Which is also very interesting because it's actually a property company, property fund, and the difference between that top rent and the next rent is about €6. So it's a big difference. On the European side, a fund has bought 4 retail warehouses in England, and a fund has bought an office building in King's Langley in a sale and leaseback, and a German investor has bought some offices in Dusseldorf. Big deal there. Market studies. Also interesting, I don't know how much in the 3rd trim the Barcelona or Catalonia situation had a thing on the office market, but Cushman's brought out a report about the office take-up doing this in the 3rd trim. It's true, the office take-up in the 3rd trim was ridiculously low. Now, was that the build-up to what happened in the middle of October, or really there's something else going on there? Compraventa residential has gone up another nearly 8.5%. So let's go back into the let's go into take-up. Okay, looking at the database, we go into the take-up area. So here you can see what deals have been taking place in what area. It's going to Barcelona, for example. Here, Property Web has done its own subzones. We have created our own subzones, okay, which is probably one of the most interesting areas of subzones that probably now has been identified, I think, in Barcelona. We've done that. Okay, so let's go into a subzone here. I'll tell you what, let's go into this subzone. And as we can see, deals up to the date, they're the buildings that have been identified. There's 13,000 available and 6,600. And you want to do big data, you can go in and see the individual deals. This takes a bit of time, so anybody got any good jokes while they're watching this? Time to get it out. Okay, here we go. Right, here you can see the individual deals taking place, and you can go into each one of those deals and see the rent, and get the details about the deals. On the other hand, you can also go into, for example, vencimientos, where you can do a search and get contracts that might be coming up for lease in the next whatever, choose your date. All very, very interesting, especially for anybody who's looking for products. Right, again, ring me, send me a message, anything you want to say, tell me. If it's interesting and great, we'll bring it all out. Thank you very much for your time today. Signing off, thank you very much. See you at the same time tomorrow, more or less.